Here's what I got out of watching every single bit of this insanely convoluted mess. Ultimately, it seems like this Pixie person is the actual victim of this scenario. She engaged with Destiny, he recorded her with her consent, but then he would show it to other people. That seems to be the case. It's obviously disgusting and a violation of boundaries, especially from somebody who claims to advocate for different marginalized groups. You obviously know better. This is obviously a pattern of immaturity from Destiny. And ultimately, him getting hacked is not his fault, but the fact that he would violate people's boundaries by sending it to people in private, probably because he just thought, well, they'll never know, it is pathetic. That being said, when it comes to this Pixie person, it seems like every single person around them, whether it's like her best friend or these other weird content creators, are disgusting, and they're constantly trying to fan the flames and turn this into a story to boost this as much as possible. All right, let's get all this started. This is crazy. It's crazy.
Right before Disney. Why do you guys do this to me?
I'm just kidding. Sorry. A little inappropriate given the what's potentially going on here. I don't know exactly what's going on. All I heard, we're obviously going to watch to get educated, was that Destiny apparently may have leaked revenge pictures of girls, which is pretty disgusting if it's true. We're going to watch, I think there's multiple videos released at the same time by a bunch of different creators. We're going to watch Cope and Seeth's video, Destiny Hitpiece.exe. And then it seems like we're going to read the Substack from Pixie. We got, I guess this is a conversation that Tom had with Dan, and I think Dan is the co-host of Destiny's podcast, right? I think, and then Not So Erudite is also a co-host of, and this is private DMs that she has supposedly. Okay, so let's see what's actually going on here. All right, let's get going. And then let me know if there's anything else in the old Discord. Wow. What is this? A video game? So great.
Those of you who have been following Destiny in his orbit for a while may have started to notice a rift forming.
But no, I just feel like there's always so much controversy surrounding Destiny. What a shame too. He's a smart guy. He's just so fucking immature that he's you think that at this point in life, he's 30-something years old, he'd figure out a way to operate without trying to attract as much negative attention as possible. It's fucking crazy to me.
Destiny can help you with the slandering. I'd rather not.
In late November, a leak occurred which revealed, shall we say, a lot of Destiny's personal history. There has been massive speculation about the people involved in those leaks, whether the sharing of them was consensual.
I think it was Mr. Girl's penis, by the way. I'm just saying. I think that's who it was.
And people's both public and private reactions to them. What I have for you today is a breakdown of the conversation that occurred between President Sunday and Disintegrates.
Who the fuck is Disintegrates? What?
Includes multiple DM leaks between the parties involved, and conversations of the general strategies being taken. But first, let me explain to you why I'm prepared to release these at all. When I went looking for these DMs, having heard about them on the grapevine from a couple of sources, I'll be honest, what I found was two separate individuals who had received them independently, and for one of them, they were pretty far down the chain. Now, people's level of knowledge involving these leaks is debatable. Though at this point, I will...
Is it an old orbiter? Okay. Well, I'm happy I don't know who it is then. I don't want to be that close to... I want to be like Pluto. Wonder from a planet. And skinny. Okay.
Say, of all the people who aren't directly...
Okay. Straighterate is Pixie's friend. God, great names. My name's Papa Gutto, so who the fuck am I?
Involved in these events, I probably have one of the fullest pictures. The story I want to tell you isn't really the story of Destiny. Rather, what I want to display is the machine that exists around him.
Yeah, this is like really slow. He talks very slow.
Because, to be clear, that machine around him is already being exposed.
Hi everyone. So Lonabox has announced that he is quitting YouTube, and he gave a bit of an iffy answer for that. Like he said, it was in part because he was supposedly
I mean, the Destiny machine, let's be real, seems to be some of the shittiest people flocking to Destiny to try to get a career. And then he'll make content with them, and it'll then something always falls out. I mean, right? Like that's what it comes down to. I don't know. Right? Like it's kind of what it is.
Rust and smeared by me and Hassan. But I actually found out the real reason just now, and it's that Destiny cocked him. His girlfriend cheated on him with Destiny.
That's it. That's what it took. Okay. That sucks, I guess.
And this drip feed of information is causing so much speculation from everybody
Do I need to watch the President Sunday video? Isn't it all the same information?
that regardless of what anybody's original intentions were, it has created more of an air of mystery, speculation, and interest than was ever needed. On November the 29th, 2024...
What do I need? Do I need to watch the other video? Isn't that like all the same video with all the same information?
President Sunday would reach out to Straighterade regarding the Destiny leaks and ask her to check in on Pixie.
Okay.
Even President...
So, I don't know if you've been following this, but someone dumped all of the sex tapes Destiny leaked on KF. I guess that's Kiwi Farms. I didn't look, but people are saying Pixie is in one. Maybe check on her and make sure she's okay. Oh God, S says.
Sunday would reach out to Straighterade regarding the Destiny leaks and ask her to check in on Pixie. As even at that point...
Oh God. We'll see what's up. It's a lot. I just saw. What do I do? What if she's with her family? I don't want to send her that, and then she's full on panic and can't even be on her own. Voice call? As in, I should ask if she can talk? Yeah, talk to her. Okay. No, I mean, let's talk over voice. Game plan this. KK, give me a minute. Has a voice call with Diorio? I mean, do I need that? I don't... Is that it? I don't know.
People were beginning to speculate that it was her...
Was that his dick?
her in the images. They then begin discussing the situation and how best to move forward with informing Pixie.
Okay.
Which leads to an hour-long call.
No, seriously, take your time. Not a panic on my end. It's when I read President Sundays, I read it in like Pirate Software's voice. No, seriously, take your time. Not a panic on my. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the same. Yeah, you told me before. Okay, call me. They called. That lasted an hour. Calling. LOL. What the fuck? Connection? Oh, I guess it cut out. Hey, I appreciate your message truly. None of this is your fault, honestly. It's mine. I really, really enjoy your company. I've never engaged with a mind like yours. Oh, this is probably Destiny's like information leak. And there's like a little screenshot of like a message.
Call in which Sunday provides further context around the leaks and
that Papa Pixie's famous for not sleeping with Destiny, but she did. Wow, that's so meaningless to me.
themselves and other people Destiny may have been involved with. This also includes a conversation between...
why would you lie about me sleeping with Steven? You're disgusting and you're enabling a male abuser. Have fun. I still don't understand how he abused you, and it's because you're fucking stupid. What is this? I don't even know what this is.
Lav and Pixie, which occurred during the Mr. Girl
Lav.
saga,
Gotcha.
where Pixie denied sleeping with Destiny
Gotcha. So Pixie and Lav is also kind of crazy.
when confronted by Lav.
But I think, I don't know, she is crazy, but... okay, let's just keep watching.
Pixie would then go private, much to the frustration of both Sunday and Straighterade, both of them realizing that in some ways...
I remember this guy. Hey, I really don't want to pry. Some stuff came out about Pixie. I don't want to talk about it anywhere, but just asking if you're aware. What do I do? Just say yes, as in, yeah, I'm aware. Say nothing. Give him a night to possibly think to say something else. Tomorrow say yes and ask why. That's my advice. Reason being is that that of everybody at the moment, I think Jay Slick, is that how you say it, is weirdly one of the few in trust at the moment. I agree, even if he's doing it cynically, lol.
This was just a confirmation that it was indeed her.
Oh, Pixie was saying that Lav is enabling Mr. Girl. Okay, gotcha.
To those who were speculating. Outside of these two, the wider rumor...
There's basketball. Oh, first black guy in this scenario. Okay, this was posted in the Sugar and Spice Discord. I don't know what it means. Well, I guess that's Pixie's Discord. Or what to do. I'd say the same thing. Don't respond.
Mill was obviously already spinning, with people reaching out to see what information...
Haha, there's a Destiny thing. He responds to the porn leaks. Did you see this?
Or
Pixie should consider filing a police report.
Opinions other people had. There's obviously the additional factor of speculation regarding what other communities may know or be referring to.
That's right. LOL. Nick F. Porn video did more damage to anti-fascist than anything you've ever done or will do. Got it. Whatever. Why did she word it that way? Maybe she doesn't even have the undergrad. I don't. Okay. What is this even in here?
When they were coming across general memes or comments.
Okay.
These conversations would continue for several days while they discussed the
These seems
reactions
irrelevant
from the wider community and online discourse. Picking back up on December 4th, President Sunday becomes concerned with Pixie's approach and tactics.
It sounds like, guys, that President Trump thought Destiny was a threat, so he dropped this on Inauguration Day. Okay, that's what really happened. Got him! Got him! It's all MCR. I'm in my emo phase, don't you know? I don't need you guys to feel bad for me. I need you guys to stop acting like I like you children. LMAO. Yeah, right. The things you guys say about me and the way you guys talk about me literally makes me, silly, sad. I'll say sad. I'm not joking. Do you think I haven't read the message you sent before? LOL. Thank you for conceding. LOL, your subjective experience is a result of the physical process. Okay.
Noting that that's like every wrong decision she could
So apparently the strategy Pixie's going with is to reply to people, but to pretend it isn't her. That's like everything wrong decision you can make. Now it's content. I know. Wait, she was in the spicy chat? Wait, okay. Sorry. You guys can correct me. I'm trying to interpret this, okay? I'm a little tired. I've been on like overdrive mode with, my vacation coming up. So what I'm reading here is that Pixie's like denying she slept with Destiny. And because she's denying it, but they saw the leaks, you're saying now it's content. Doesn't that make you like weirdly complicit in this? Like why signal boost this? Why go, well, I guess it's content now because she's denying it. Why does that justify being content? Why wouldn't you just leave her alone? Am I reading this wrong? Like, isn't that just gross? So she had sex with a guy who apparently was, and I don't know all the story yet, but showing pictures of her to other people. And then it gets leaked. And then she's like, hey, that's not me. And then since she's saying it's not her, some other guy's like, well, that's justifiable. Now it's a justifier to make it content. Bro, okay, I just want to be like really clear. It seems like regardless whether you're like a Destiny orbiter that likes Destiny or Destiny orbiter that doesn't like Destiny, you seem to be kind of a piece of shit. It seems like some of the shittiest people, and I just want to be clear, I like Destiny's very intelligent. So I'm not trying to like sit here and like shit on him. I just find him extraordinarily immature, and like this is one of those things. Like this guy's so content brain. Like you hate him, but you're like just as bad in some ways. You're gonna make content out of it. Why couldn't we just let this die? I mean, like now we're at a point now where everybody's talking about it. I'm gonna talk about it, but like if you have private information, why are you like riling people up to talk about this? Because that's what it seems like you did. It seems like you're trying to rile people up to talk about this to make it into content. Like if I knew about this, I would just not talk about it. I would just say, I'd be like, okay, like what the fuck, like what do I need to know about this? Well, I mean, here we are now. It's already blown up, so good. She should be suing, but like I feel like why are these people jumping in the mix, and making a bunch of videos about it and signal boosting it and turning it into something? You know, I mean, like, okay,
could make, now it's content. The concern,
and that's not me saying that whatever Destiny may have done is okay. I'm just saying, like, why? Like, it's like your desire to cancel Destiny outweighs the privacy of somebody who was very clearly hurt by Destiny, or seemingly hurt by Destiny. I guess we have to continue to see. It's kind of gross. Okay, yeah. So Straighteraid is Pixie's best friend. Sunday is trying to get content. Yeah, that dude's just as bad as, like, just as bad as he thinks Destiny is, no?
generally being that this was
She's making a reason for people to investigate it for her. Oh, he's totally justifying his behavior. If she's not willing to laugh it off or be the victim or whatever, she needs to say nothing. Lying about it poorly is the single worst thing she can do. Yeah, but he seems to be the main driving force trying to turn this into content. It's like he's talking out loud to justify why it's okay to signal boost this situation. This guy's kind of gross. Or he's Batman. He might be Batman, guys. He's just doing illegal things to save the world. I think he's actually Batman. I think he's actually Batman. You're preaching to the choir. I've told her repeatedly that denying it basically wasn't an option, just to shut up, but she didn't listen. I'm talking to myself mostly because I'm annoyed. See, I told you. It's talking to himself. I'm annoyed and can't tell anyone else. Well, annoyed about what? Why do you care? Like, she fucked the guy and like leave her. Like, what is it? What are you annoyed by? Did you want to fuck her? Like, I know you did. I'm so frustrated with her, but I don't see how getting upset with her for doing this will lead to anything other than making her feel bad. Oh, it won't do anything. You're going to have to let her torch herself. Excuse me. What the fuck? And then pat her on the shoulder after the consequences of her own actions ruin her year. What the dude? The way this guy talks is creepy. It's a creep. That's like just the way you're talking about this makes me uncomfortable. It's like, I mean, I'm not like fucking a super woke guy over here, but it just feels like victim blaming, no? The smart move actually would be to maneuver as a victim of Steven and to put those currently jumping down her throat on her side. The maneuver for what? Okay. Be outraged about the fact that the leak of the leak and make that scandal instead of ew, Pixie, no.
Only reinforcing people's opinions that she was the one in the leaks and driving people to investigate deeper. Straighterade would describe this as Sunday preaching to the choir.
I hope that this Pixie person like doesn't interact with this Sunday guy ever. Like shit, this is fucking crazy.
Importantly, it was around this
Maybe just showing him screenshots and saying, hey, is this a good idea? Kyla was asking me for details, or I don't know who Kyla is, other than there's a bunch of red stuff, and she asked how Pixie's doing. Then she asked if Pixie knew he took the video, and if she consented to it being shared. I don't know why she would even ask me that. Probably, I mean, that's a reasonable question, though. My answer could be no on both counts, and she would not change a thing, lol. I'm assuming that she has her narrative. Two possibilities. Either she doesn't know, she's looking for a way to set herself apart, or she's asking on behalf of Steven to gauge whether Pixie... Oh, Kyla! That's not so erudite? Okay, gotcha. Oh my god. She's asking on behalf of Steven to gauge whether Pixie is going to cause a problem. The third is she's just a dumb idiot and out of the loop. I feel like she's probably asking on behalf of Destiny. That would be my guess, but I don't really know. I doubt it's the third. I doubt it's the third too. There's no way Kyla didn't immediately message him when all this happened. Yeah, that's probably true.
This time that Not So Erudite would reach out to Straighterade.
No, I guess I could have just played it for a millisecond.
She asked how Pixie is doing, but then she asked if Pixie knew he took the video and if she consented to it being shared. I don't know why she'd even ask me that. My answer could be no on both counts, and she would not change a thing, lol. It's quite obvious that in the opinion...
Okay, yeah, I don't trust that this was some genuine concern for her well-being. I've seen no evidence that Kyla is like that, but Pixie wasn't. Okay. Is Kaya smart enough to be able to tell that's at a glance? To be fair, people have asked that, and the video is short, no eye contact, inconceivable, and didn't see it. Dude, I mean... This is like gross. I think that this fucking Sunday guy was jerking off to it, honestly. I think he was fucking like absolutely beating his fucking dick off to this shit. I feel like it's very strange behavior when you see stuff like this happen to like do your best to find as much as you can and really like dig through all like the leaks. Because wasn't there a lot? You know, I obviously saw the shit that was on Twitter, but like I wasn't gonna go out there and look for this shit. I almost guarantee he fucking beat the fuck out of his dick to it. I guarantee you that President Sunday would have been like one of his best friends if Destiny would have embraced him as such. It's just this is just a pathway he chose. I know that Bixie gave him permission. See, like to be fair, people have asked that, and the video is short, no eye contact. It's conceivable she didn't see. It's like, why do you know that? You want to know the disgusting truth about all this, though? What is that? But Kyla might not. More likely, though, it's actually Steven who wants to know what she's saying in the background.
Of both Straighterade and Sunday, that Not So Erudite
there's little contact with Lonerbox, or that there's little consensus. Okay.
Be asking these things not out of concern for Pixie, but out of concern for Destiny. With a general feeling that regardless of what the answer was, Kyla's position wouldn't change a dot. Straighterade does also confirm that Pixie was aware of the recording at least existing, and that it had not been created without her knowledge. The conversation moves off this topic once again at this point, to the wider subject of Hassan and the Twitch war that was occurring at the time. Though it would come...
Okay, so he seems to have taken it consensually. He seems to have asked her to take it, but then what is the issue then? Like he was sending it? So what was hacked? Was Destiny sending this to other people? Because that's gross.
Up again around the first when Straighterade brings up Fairy Queen leaving a comment on Kyla's most recent video. Erudite seemingly had been in contact with Fairy Queen asking her to take this comment down, or at least a section of it.
What's this section? What's those comments?
Seemingly first when Straight...
Oh, I can't read all that. It's too fucking shitty and I don't care enough.
Contact with Fairy Queen asking her to take this comment down, or at least a section of it. Though it is worth noting that Erudite is openly talking about being in contact with the victims of the leaks.
I get that you're mad at me, and that's fair. We've got our differences, but I wanted to ask you to think about the people involved in leaks. I've been talking with them, and they really want as little attention as possible. That's fair. Your comment is kind of confirming that it's them, which they're denying, and drawing more attention to it for their sake. I'd really appreciate if you consider removing that part of the comment, and that's fair. I mean, that's generally fair.
And noting concern for them as the primary reason for its removal. As I'd like to do as little editorializing as possible here.
You acknowledge that Melina is claiming Steven shared these videos without her consent. Have you confronted Steven privately about this? Will you dissociate from him for sharing another woman's sex tapes without her consent? Gotcha. I'm not an extension of Steven. You're not a feminist. Oh, Jesus Christ. What? This is like so... dude, like what is up with these people? Why are you guys so fucking weird? Like, what are you, his fucking lawyer? I don't understand this. Just 2 burgers, babe. Sorry, my wife's in the chat asking me what I want to eat. I don't understand. Like, why? What kind of response is this? Like, this whole situation, like the way that they're all interacting is just so fucking strange. Gotcha. I'm not an extension of Steven. You're not a feminist. Like, what is with you're not a feminist? What does that mean? This is also fucking terminally online.
I'll let it pass without much comment. Though I would like to point out at this point that the leaks themselves and the silence around them had become such a fascinating topic that even Wick TV seems to recognize that this is obviously becoming a content item in and of itself.
Yeah, I wonder fucking why. Kyla deleted my comment on her YouTube. My comment criticized her decision to co-host with a known sexual abuser in the community. I followed up with the 3 distinct questions. Instead of addressing them, Kyla blocked me. Given that Kyla seems unbothered by Steven sharing Melina and other nudes, I see no reason not to share her refusal to explain. Well, I mean, I feel like she's probably had sex with Destiny and probably have seen them. If no, like if that's the case, she probably has had sex with Destiny. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, he's a fucking degenerate gooner that probably, and I'm sure it was. I'm not like saying it wasn't consensual or anything, but like she's probably seen them and didn't think it was a big deal at the time because she can keep a secret or something. Share her refusal to explain why she continues to co-host with him in public. I dare her and frankly anyone from DGG to get upset at me posting our private conversation after silently supporting Steven firing off revenge pornography this past December. I'm curious what leg you think you'd have to stand on. After all, you don't know for sure that I didn't have consent to share, so just assume that I did. And please don't harass poor Kyla with messages asking if she consented to having me post this. Kyla would very much prefer that we not discuss this. She wants as little attention on this on her Bridges co-host as possible. Okay, so I'm assuming that's obviously her saying that they should harass her. Okay. Okay. Dude, this is fucking preposterous shit. Okay, somebody in the chat asks, is this a big deal? Like the biggest, I mean, yeah. So from what it sounds like, it would be a pretty big deal. It sounds like he talking to girls and he records them with their consent, it seems like, pictures and shit and videos. And then he shows them to other girls to turn them on or something. I guess, or maybe it turns him on. But does that without their consent? Maybe everybody that he's taken pictures of even saw pictures of other girls. So if they did, you're kind of, if that's the case, if all these girls saw, if Destiny showed pictures of other girls to all these girls, and then he showed pictures of these girls to other girls, I mean, they won't really have a leg to stand on because it's like, you know, obviously he's a fucking dog rolling around in his own shit. That doesn't take away his blame in this. But like the biggest reason why Destiny would be like a big at fault here, right, is because he knows the argument. Like he knows he's not supposed to do this. He's not some fucking red pill, low IQ degenerate idiot. He's like an adult that advocates, well, I mean, hopefully honestly advocates for different, you know, minority groups or marginalized groups, no? So yeah, I'm just you're right, I'm just jealous.
Seems to recognize that this is obviously becoming a content item in and of itself.
Keep that in mind. It's an interesting question. Symposium Brain for $20 says Melina recently confirmed that the sex tapes leaked by Destiny's former girl were shared by Destiny without her consent.
Good one. Nice.
If she has no legal recourse.
I got a whole bunch of super chats for you. Wake, ready?
Okay. Did you not?
Wick.
Okay, fair enough.
Wick is a stinky butt. I think that's a #1 super chat.
At this point,
okay, that was something. Saw, will you go over it tomorrow? Nice. Kyla's being snaky about this. Pixie contacted her, was kind of trying to use her as a liaison. I told Kyla it can't be trusted to help with that. Dan contacted Pixie a couple of weeks ago as well. According to what she told me, he basically said ask Steven for a reasonable amount of money and he'd probably pay it, want her to convince him to not take legal action against Kiwi Farms, which he's considering. Dude, what? Is this true? I'm sorry, this is not even funny. If this is true, are you telling me that people around Destiny's closest friends and podcast hosts are reaching out to these girls, and specifically this girl, and saying, hey, we'll give you money to keep quiet? What does that sound like? What the fuck? What does that sound like? This is fucking insane. Okay. Oh my god. This is fucking crazy, dude. Okay. You up for a call there tonight? Lycan and I are driving back from Texas. Won't be home until late tomorrow night. What about the night after? Pixie wants to go public before the end of January, and I don't know what to tell her because there's pros and cons both ways. Let's talk tomorrow. I'm going to talk with somebody I trust. Sounds good. This is blackmail. Tell her under no circumstance to do this. Dan is a moron.
Straight Raid accuses
Or he's trying to sabotage her.
Kyla of being snaky about this to President Sunday, explaining that Pixie and Kyla have been in contact, with Not So Erudite acting as a kind of liaison. It's also revealed that Dan reached out to Pixie as well. And from what Straight Raid had heard, Dan encouraged Pixie to ask Destiny for a reasonable amount of money, as well as trying to get Pixie to persuade Steven
Why wouldn't he just offer an amount of money?
not to sue Kiwi Farms.
I guess he's trying to have plausible deniability. These are messages Kyla and Pixie exchanged on 12/18. Kyla was telling Pixie that she would talk to Steven IRL about the whole ordeal, but then said scheduling issues prevented the conversation. She also said every time she's asked for details via messages, he's not engaged. But I think that's obviously a lie. And for context, Pixie wanted to sue for a lot of money, literally $1 million, but I told her that isn't a realistic amount. She's discouraged from pursuing a legal route after speaking with a lawyer who specializes in cyber crimes. Revenge porn. They told her that the hacker is at more fault than Steven legally, which is why she wants to go public about it. She feels like there's not going to be any legal justice and doesn't want him to get away with it.
Raid would then provide Sunday with the DMs between Not So Erudite and Pixie, and notes Pixie's original desire for a payout somewhere in the region of $1 million.
Get that bag, I guess.
So let me take you through the conversation between Not So Erudite and Pixie. Pixie, in blue, begins by reaching out
Oh, is this the
to
stuff?
NSE.
Shut up. Is this? It might be. Okay.
Asking whether she's had a chance to talk to Steven yet. NSE responds by asking if there's anything Pixie hopes was
Not yet. Coleman canceled, so I ended up not coming in, but we'll be there Saturday. Are you hinging a lot on the conversation with them? Other than what I mentioned, is there anything you were hoping to be brought up?
Pixie then explains that depending on how that conversation goes, depends on what her next course of action will be. Particularly based on whether Destiny feels like he needs to make up or repent for his actions. Timeline.
I want to read the whole thing. I think I'm going to decide my next course of action of what to do with myself and him based on how that conversation goes. Unless if you decide you don't want to talk to him, that's okay too. Basically, I have my plan / course of action paused and will choose something depending on if he agrees he has to make up / repent for the action and wants to work with me to find a way to do that, or if he doesn't feel that way. I don't want to talk to him myself because I feel like I tried explaining what I was feeling and he didn't really understand. I also have a little anxious voice in my brain telling me to prepare for the worst because he probably won't care or doesn't care enough to willingly try to make up for his mistakes, and that means I'll have to start thinking of more extreme / nuclear options to deal with it. I'm trying to avoid spiraling down.
Particularly based on whether Destiny feels like he needs to make up or repent for his actions. Timeline-wise, Pixie
Hi, Steven. Then there's a bunch of shit here. Hold up there. What's up?
had already spoken to Destiny.
I feel like it's hard for me to give you advice since I'm obviously impacted by everything, but I would still say some of the following things. Why did you blurt what she said? Things die out sporadically fast. There might always be a couple of random losers online, but people move on to the next thing, and outside of some losers on Kiwi Farms and some irrelevant content people who will fade away in a year or two. Okay. Me? No. Maybe. I don't know. Inevitably, stuff fades away. There are people who were big online a few years ago that people can barely even find traces of anymore. Okay, gotcha. You still have every legal option available to you. You can always pursue stuff, and there will be special civil and criminal protections that even shield your name from being released. You can always do free consultations with litigation firms to check with stuff like that for obvious reasons. You should take the things I'm saying with a grain of salt and pursue and check out all those things on your own. Have accomplished and done a ton of things in the past couple of years. When I met you a few years ago, you were yo-yoing like crazy between bad thoughts, we'll say, ideation thoughts, and being hung up on a weird guy and feeling aimless after getting your college degrees. I don't know. Sorry, I'm not trying to like turn this into like a whole thing or like start running off on like massive tangents, but okay, sorry. The only reason I'm like, it's not funny. It's just like, how many times is Destiny having sex with the most emotionally unstable women that I've ever seen? like Lav and other people. They're always fucking crazy. Like this one, oh, you were like really sad to the point where you didn't know if you wanted to be around anymore. It's like I'm not sitting here saying that people like that aren't deserving of, sexual intercourse. You can have sex with depressed girls, okay? I married one. But I don't know, man. This is just making me uncomfortable. I'm not going to make a President Sunday video saying Destiny needs to be canceled, but this is just making me uncomfortable. This is making me uncomfortable. I don't know, man. I'm not saying he does it on purpose. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I'm so burnt out today. This is too much. He might be doing it on purpose because they're easy targets. Maybe those are just the type of women that are attracted to Destiny, and that just happens to be his type. And he doesn't try to take advantage of their, maybe a little bit vulnerable state. I don't know. And again, I'm not trying to say that he does that. I'm not trying to like dog whistle like he definitely does. I don't know. But this shit makes me so fucking uncomfortable. Crazy, all these bad thoughts. Weird guy, feeling aimless after getting your college degrees, but you've done a ton of work this year with PV, moved in and survived in Miami all on your own, branched out in new content areas, and made a few new friends and communities. It would be super shitty to not follow up with it. Who's this Pixie person? Like, can I see a regular, are they a content creator? If they are, I'd like to see like what her content page is. More years and at least to see where you continue to push things.
In what was essentially a brief exchange of DM.
This feels super lame, and I don't at all want to imply that somehow just giving you money helps anything go away or fixes everything for you, but if you have any bills or money you owe or anything, or have financial stuff I can help with, I can at the very least chip in and help with any of that. So it's at least one of the less things you have to worry about or stress over while you're worrying about getting through this. I mean, that just kind of feels like a manipulative, I'll give you money to make you happy, no? Okay.
Pixie would also assure Not So Erudite that she was not a danger to herself at this time. Though a constant theme in Pixie's communications is this potential underlying risk that
I'm trying to avoid spiraling down that line of thought because I'm trying to hold out for hope and just not to scare him. I'm 100% not going to do anything with myself no matter what he says during holiday season because I don't want to traumatize my friends during that time. That's supposed to be happy, and even if he responds negatively, it doesn't mean I'm going to take my own life. I'm trying to contemplate all the different courses of action, including going public, and then if I can't take this amount of humiliation and taking my own life versus my plan before of scheduling a note for when I die. I'm also still looking into lawyers, but I just want to see what he says before deciding to go to nuclear option. Okay, Jesus Christ. So just to be clear, I just want this like the number one out of this whole entire situation. From what I'm seeing, Destiny seems to be disgusting in this scenario. So do a lot of the people around him trying to go after him are also kind of disgusting because they seem more interested in taking Destiny down than actually being a positive impact. But as for like this specific girl, when you kind of take a step back and you really retract and you go like, what's going on here? This isn't something that's destructive to like your whole world. Like, and the only reason I'm saying that is because they're considering, hanging out with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, sliding down a sewer. Okay, just want to be a little censored. At the end of the day, it seems like you slept with a guy and he violated your boundaries by showing pictures or videos that he shouldn't have, and that's like really shitty. But this isn't something that will collapse your whole world, right? And I'm just saying that because you don't want to go down that path. I think when it comes to a lot of online stuff, it feels like the end of the world, especially if you're very online. But my opinion would be to just take a deep breath and just disconnect from this guy and all these people and just kind of move forward, especially if you're not really deeply rooted in this community for content. Did she cheat on her boyfriend? Is that what she's worried about? Is that what you're saying?
That she may do damage to herself. Not So Erudite asks whether she can share this with Destiny, to which Pixie...
Steven, he communicated to me that he knows he fucked up, there's no excuse at all, and doesn't know what he can do. Why doesn't he say that to her? How come he's not saying it to her that he fucked up? That last message that we saw, I mean, maybe he did and we just didn't see it. But like, if Kyla's saying this, that means that Destiny probably didn't say to her that he fucked up. So are they doing like this weird plausible deniability game? He fucked up. There's no excuse at all and doesn't know what he can do for you to make it up. I'm trying to bridge between you to help him understand what would make you feel like he understood he was in the wrong and should never do this again. Or better, what can I share with him? You can share this with and anything you want with him. I feel like when we talked, you really understood where I was coming from and can hopefully explain this better than I can. This is just strange. I don't know. The dynamic here is very interesting that he is having. Okay, I really want to like just pretext everything I'm saying because I'm not trying to sensationalize this. This is gonna sound so bad when I say this. Please take this with a grain of salt. This feels like this. It feels like Kyla's Destiny's bottom bitch, right? Like this is like an. Listen again. He's not nearly as bad as Andrew Tate, but it kind of feels like that, a little bit like that, right? Like he's got a girl to talk to another girl about what's going on to try to make it like, because it's easier because she's less threatening. She's another girl. Like, hey, I get it. Empathy, sympathy. Like I can communicate this to Destiny. I don't want people to think that like I'm going off the deep end and like saying like, oh yeah, this is definitely how like, he's a predator. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that like this is like all of this is very strange to me. Like it's, you know, if she's sitting here and saying like, hey, he communicated to me that he fucked up, why couldn't Destiny just communicate directly to her? Why does it have to be her? I'm trying to bridge between to help him understand what would make you feel that he understood he was wrong. I don't know. So this is making me so fucking uncomfortable. Okay.
Agrees, citing the fact she doesn't feel like he really understands her perspective, and it may be better coming from Not So Erudite. Not So Erudite pushes a little hard.
Gotcha. Thanks for not sugarcoating anything about where you're at. I think what we talked about as what you needed, help removing the video from online, getting the guy who hacked charged, a sense that Steven understands how in the wrong he was, and a plan to prevent this from ever happening again. If the first two like make perfect sense, if it was just like, okay, I got you. What you want is we got to get this video offline and we got to charge the guy who hacked you. The last one is bizarre. Why wouldn't Steven understand that this is how wrong he is in this? It sounds like to me he doesn't think he did anything that wrong. He's like, yeah, I took pictures and I showed them to people, but it was like private, so like nobody should have found out. But somebody hacked me. It's not my fault. Like, oh, that. Don't you talking about like marginalized issues all the time? Wouldn't you know? Why is that? Wouldn't you know the answer to this? Okay. Yeah, the only problem is number 3, because even with removal of the video and getting the guy hacked charged, Steven has to face consequences proportional to his actions. I want this to be the most expensive mistake of his life. Okay, that's fair. Honestly.
Harder to work out exactly what it is that Pixie wants. She lists what she thinks are her goals. Help removing the video from online, getting the guy who hacked charged, a sense that Steven understands how in the wrong he was, and plans
is the subtextual argument that she's trying to redirect her focus to something different
to prevent this from ever happening in the future. Here, Pixie clarifies. What she wants is for this to be the most expensive mistake of his life. She doesn't list a dollar amount, nor does she want to make him destitute, but it should not be easily recoverable.
I think that's fair. I mean, if what we're seeing in this communication between these two is that Destiny, what I'm hearing is Destiny doesn't really think he did anything particularly wrong. And the only reason I think that, again, is because of this message here, a sense that Steven understands how in the wrong he is. If he needs that sense, that means he doesn't understand now. And so, like, he would need a pretty big blow for him to be like, oh, that was wrong. Maybe he's not the kind of guy that you can empathize with, which I wouldn't doubt. So you're going to have to be the kind of guy there. You get a pretty big punishment. Okay, so that is what you want to pursue. It wasn't clear to me before this exactly what you wanted. Okay, gotcha. And I'm essentially asking him to self-punish himself in a way I don't think he will like or agree to without the law involved. I don't have a dollar amount from the top of my head. It just has to be enough that for the rest of his life, if he thinks of the word nude, he associates with the amount of money he lost. That's kind of fair. It's kind of based. Obviously, I don't want to make him destitute, but it's, yeah, okay, this is kind of based here. Let me read that comment on the actual thing. Aren't these people supposed to be political streamers? Why is everything other than every other thing we find out about them? Who's stuck who's dong and where? Listen, all right. I've been a little gooner myself. I'm happily married now, and I've controlled the dog within me. And it's been the best, my best life so far. But I think it's a lot of people they're very famous. Like Destiny's very smart, but if we didn't have an online space, Destiny would be a debate nerd. That I don't know necessarily what he'd be doing right now. I know what I'd be doing. Probably driving a bus. Okay, let's be clear. Not sitting here saying I'm like amazing, but I think it's a lot of like very nerdy, socially awkward people who don't really function particularly well in the real world that got really popular online. And they're like, oh, fuck, people like me now. I got money. And then they get horny and they just start fucking everything. I kind of feel like that's part of what's going on here. So, okay, so what is it you want to pursue? Okay, my understanding is that it was more of a sense of rehabilitation and justice. Gotcha. So you got a sense that you want him to be rehabilitated and yeah. That sounds like what she's saying. How do you get justice here?
Amount, nor does she want to make him destitute, but it should not be easily recoverable. NSC responds, my understanding was it was more a sense of rehabilitation and justice. But you have a specific thing you want now, which is for him to lose a certain amount of money.
Well, no, the specific things is that she wants him to basically have some kind of almost trauma associated with how he fucked her over. So, okay.
Pixie responds that she feels that unless he faces actual repercussions, he will never change.
That's probably true. If he wants to, he can donate the money to some charity organization. I just think that other than jail, or even more than jail from the studies I've read, money is the strongest reinforcer and losing is the strongest punishment. I do not believe he will stop his actions unless if he faces some level of punishment. I mean, this is totally fair. This girl's being totally fair right now.
Also noting that this money can be given to charity. Not so erudite, seemingly unsure what to do with the conversation at this point, says she'll have to talk to Stephen, as this request for money isn't what she was expecting.
This is what she's expecting the girl to roll over?
With
Gotcha. I need to think about that then, because I'm happy to communicate what you need broadly as a sense of justice, but I'm not sure what I think about the specifics of money and punishment in this case. I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just the tone has changed from our previous conversation. As I said, you will change how you feel day by day. Oh my God, and I understand that, but I'm a bit uncertain as to what caused the change in your thinking. And so I wouldn't want to speak to Steven without this on your behalf, without him, because I'm not totally certain what's led to the certainty on this course of action. Okay, I don't really like this because this can be interpreted. My brain, I don't have the energy for this. I do. I gotta get my shit together. I thought Chud Logic liked Destiny a lot. Okay. The reason I don't like this message is because it could be one of two things being communicated here. When she specifically says, as I said, you will change how you feel day by day, that could be an acknowledgement of the way that people in very high pressure situations feel when they're going through a lot of stress. Or it could be more of a nudge in a direction of like, this isn't really what you want. And I get the this isn't really what you want energy from these conversations. They make me very uncomfortable. This whole situation makes me very uncomfortable. The network Destiny setup makes me very uncomfortable. Jesus Christ.
At this point,
it's ridiculous.
Says she'll have to talk to Stephen, as this request for money isn't what she was expecting. With Pixie then responding that what she's looking for is a general acceptance from Stephen that he understands this as a potential course of action to rectify the situation.
Yeah, I'm not even sure about the specifics regarding money and or punishment. I believe in rehabilitation. Part of rehabilitation is penance. The person understands what they did was wrong, takes corrective course of action and actions to help pay penance to the victims and do right by them. I just want to know if Stephen agrees with this and is willing to figure it out, what this means to both of us in a manner that makes sense to both of us. I don't want to cause unnecessary harm or suffering to Stephen. I want to know he will never do this again, and I think this would be the most effective method of doing so. Or jail, but I do not want Stephen to go through criminal court because, one, our justice system is horrible at getting people to change their behavior, and two, I feel like it would be overkill on my part. I don't think he would go to jail for this, probably, but I mean, I agree that he deserves something.
As she views this as a potential penance, which is essential, in her view, to the rehabilitation process. She goes on to explain that if Stephen agrees, then great, that's an agreed course of action. But if not, then she will have to go through the court system to, as she puts it, figure this out. She goes on to note, Destiny has already alluded in DMs with her previous...
I'm just going to read the whole thing and then he can summarize it, but I want to read it myself to get the interpretation. But I totally understand if you don't want to talk to Steven about this. I just have been putting it off because the answer is either one, yes, I agree with this course of action. Let's talk about what this would look like in a way that makes sense for both of us. Or two, no, I don't agree. I don't want to do that, which then it becomes okay, now I have to go to court and figure this out. I'm sorry for using you as an intermediary. I can send these messages, conversations to him myself too. I just feel like if he tells me to directly, it would be emotionally harder to handle than if I heard from you. But I totally understand if that's not something you're comfortable with, and I'm sorry if I put you in the uncomfortable position. Okay, so I just want to be clear. Maybe I got like one little thing. I may have got something wrong. I could have swore earlier she was trying to talk directly to Destiny, but she wasn't able to do so. This, just to be clear, this makes it seem like she didn't want to talk to Destiny, and that she's the one trying to talk to through Kyla because she feels more comfortable with her. If I might have got, okay, if that's the case, if I misunderstood something earlier, then that's like on me, because before I had mentioned like almost the bottom bitch aspect. But if this girl is trying to talk to Kyla because she's more comfortable, that's totally different. So like that would have been pretty fucked up. Like for me, if I got that wrong, if I misinterpreted that. So sorry for that. Because that's totally different. She didn't want to talk to. Okay, then that's me. Then that was like totally on me. That was like my misinterpretation. Sorry, guys. Retract what I said earlier. This does not feel like that. Okay, so this comes off as less like weird. Still, some of this conversation is bizarre and uncomfortable, but it seems like she's just more comfortable talking to this person, which makes sense. Okay, so just wanted to retract that from before. Okay, I just wanted to. Pixie has huge anxiety issues. That makes sense. Okay, okay, that's the yeah. Okay, gotcha. I just wanted to correct that record there, guys. Cool stuff.
To financial compensation, though her concern is that he doesn't really understand the level of proportionality.
So really quick, who was this girl dating? You guys keep bringing up her boyfriend. Was she dating Lonerbox, and were they dating at the time, and then she fucked Destiny? Is that what happened? Is she a cheater?
She is expecting
Is she a pumpkin eater?
From him. Kyla would then respond to tidy up the language, as in her view, it's not about punishment, it's about making sure that he is genuinely remorseful and changing his behavior.
Okay.
She got punishment.
The part here of figuring out what it looks like for you to, or for him to fix it and show proper penance is super fair, and I'm totally comfortable asking him that. And my read from you guys' DMs is what he said to me briefly is that he is very open to figuring out what this looks like. Okay, gotcha.
It's about making sure.
Oh, she was dating Loaderbox? Did she cheat? No, she subbed Destiny before dating Loaderbox. Oh, okay, then who cares?
So that he is genuinely remorseful and changing his behavior. As she goes on to further clarify Pixie's position, with Pixie agreeing to the general gist. They go back and forth, with Kyla clarifying that you're not
okay. The part figuring out, okay, blah, blah, blah. He said to me, from your guys' DMs, and what he said to me briefly is that he's very open to figuring out what it looks like, probably framed in a way of punishment is off because this isn't about punishment, it's about making sure he's genuinely remorseful and changing his behavior. Is that my understanding? Okay, yes, I use the word punishment in exchange for penance. Got it, cool.
Agreeing to the general gist.
Okay.
They go back and forth with Kyla clarifying.
Punishment because I assume that's something that he won't be happy about doing, but it was something that worse. Okay, I get it. I don't apologize at all. I will apologize. I don't want to put people in a bad position. I feel like I'm making everyone I talk to so kind of sad when I talk about it. I'm asking because I want to be clear with where you're at. Okay, gotcha. Cool.
Clarifying that you're not making me sad, other than like, I'm obviously sad, my friend is hurting, and was hurt by our other friend.
Clear where you're at, you're comfortable. Okay, this is, so I'm being pedantic, but it's to make sure I'm respecting you and yourself. Okay, gay. You're not making me sad other than like, I'm obviously sad my friend is hurting and was hurt by our other friend. Yeah, honestly, I feel comfortable sending him messages and asking him what does he think this would look like if you're telling me is comfortable with the idea of proportionate. Okay, proportionate penance, got it.
Pixie makes a...
So how come it didn't go to this proportionate penance thing? Or like, how come these got leaked? Did they... That's a real question. So like, what happened so far isn't good from Destiny's part, right? But like, how come this got leaked? Was Destiny not willing to engage in penance, or did these guys pressure this Pixie girl to give them DMs so that they could take him and run with him? You're telling me he's comfortable with the idea of proportional. Okay, makes you feel like how severe the procedure is actually. Okay, obviously do whatever is most respectful towards you. Do what you think is okay. Okay, cool.
A final clarification that Destiny needs to understand the severity.
Pay some bills for me. Okay. I just feel like he didn't understand when he said he would pay some bills for me, because it makes me feel like he's telling me, oh, sorry, I happened. Here's $200. Hope you feel better, which I think really underestimates the gravity of the situation, to put it lightly, and somehow makes me feel like the cheap prostitute. Okay, I totally get that. I think it was more of him just trying to be like, hey, I'll give you money if you keep quiet. But okay.
Of the situation, and that paying some bills, which is a reference to her previous conversation with Destiny, isn't enough. With a final clarity.
Ben and not leaked on Sunday. Yeah, but how did they get this access to this in the first place? Right? Like, did they hack them? Obviously, do whatever is most respectful towards you. Do you think it would be okay if I send these messages to him? Is that something you're comfortable with? I think he was worried you would feel he's paying for your silence, but didn't want to help, but didn't want to overstep. I think he's offering a lot more than how you read it, but I totally understand why you read it that way. Okay, that makes me feel a little better. I think I'm ready to reach out to him using this conversation as a starting point, if you're okay with that.
Clarifier from Kyla that I think he was worried you would feel he's paying you for your silence, but did want.
Pixie's friend leaked it? Is that what happened? So she sent it to her friend to be like, hey, this is what's been going on, and the friend leaked it? It's the same hacks from the BJ video. Well, I understand that. What I'm asking, I'm trying to figure out what's what. I'm assuming that these messages aren't part of the hacks, which means that these messages were leaked. So how were these messages leaked? Is my question. And maybe I missed it earlier. Maybe I missed it earlier, but like, did she leak them, or did she send them to a friend and the friend leaked them? How did that happen?
Want to help, but didn't want to overstep. I think he is offering a lot more than you read it, but I totally understand why you read it that way. Back in the...
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what the chain is. Did she post them, or who did she post these to? Like, how did the original things get leaked? That's the very specific thing that I'm looking at. Like, did she pass these around to like friends, and then just to be like, hey, this is what's going on, and then those friends leaked it? She's discouraged from pursuing a legal route after speaking with a lawyer who specialized. Okay, we've read that before. Stephen also was aware that Dan was contacting Pixie from what she could tell. Additional context, Pixie was saying that if her parents found out, she would take her life. Tell her to keep cool. She's going to be all right. Assume everyone knows everything. I did. She calmed down. Oh, okay. I don't know. Why is this person talking to this President Sunday guy? He seems like a fucking idiot.
The conversation between Streamline and Sunday, Streamline notes that Pixie was discouraged by the lawyer she was talking to from pursuing this against Steven, and this had moved Pixie to wanting to go public as she didn't feel confident in any form of legal justice.
So Pixie sent it to Straighterade. Okay. Super best friends. Straighterade to Sunday. And Sunday to the public. Okay. All right. So let me just get this straight. With what's going on. Okay. What I'm understanding here is that Destiny is a degenerate gooner who engages with a bunch of girls and then consensually creates media with them, but then unconsensually shows it to other people that he's interested in, because that's an absolute Chad play, I guess. There's a hack. A bunch of stuff gets leaked. This guy, President Sunday here, does the best that he can to turn it into a story by harassing her absolute best friend of one of the girls that was impacted, who's already feeling very frustrated. She's trying to work it out how to deal with it to Destiny and, you know, and all that infrastructure. And in the meantime, her best friend's a moron who sent it to this President Sunday guy who clearly does not give a singular fuck about this Pixie girl. And so he's creating content out of this to emotionally distress her. Not to emotionally distress her. That's just a byproduct because he wants to cancel Destiny's career. That's what I'm hearing is happening here? Oh, the best friend is a big fan of President Sunday? Wait, what the fuck? Why? Oh my God. I'm not saying that this isn't bad. I'm just saying, like, what the fuck? What is happening here? This is insane. The amount of depth that you need to understand what's going on here is blowing my mind.
Sunday goes on to reinforce that Pixie does likely have a legal route open to her.
Pixie wanted that. She basically trying to use Kaya as a liaison. Wait. So hold on. If this girl is a big fan of President Sunday, then she knew exactly what she was doing. What the fuck? Pixie is really dumb. You and I have to assume that if we deal with her straightly, she will make a very stupid decision, probably. But even if I convince her not to go that route, she's currently planning to consider that a win. Right now, she's thinking a twit longer plus GoFundMe for legal fees. While I do think some people hate Steven enough to open their wallet and donate to what could be a legal headache, I don't think it's a good idea because of how Pixie is. No one can lose sympathy faster than her, and Keffels poison people's ability to fundraise for stuff like that. Is Pixie in Florida? And then she put sharing intimate images without a right. Send this to Pixie. Evidence must be presented to a judge and sometimes a jury that the defendant shared the intimate image with you without your consent. The defendant knew that you did not consent or recklessly disregarded whether or not you consented. You can prove lack of consent with your own testimony or other evidence you had. Note that even if you made or shared your own intimate images with somebody, that does not mean that you consented to the image being shared elsewhere. Holy fuck.
And provides further information which Straighter Aid is to pass on to Pixie for her to consider. Sunday would then go on to ask whether there have been further conversations.
I sent this to her the same week they got leaked. Why is she talking with Kyla then? That's how she found the lawyer, through reading this plus other resources. Because she started to get impatient and was discouraged by what the two lawyers she spoke to said. Jesus, does the conversation continue or did she send anything else? During her and Kyla, not sure that's all sent, or with Steven. Okay.
Between Pixie and Kyla that
this is so fucking confusing.
He's not aware of, or between Pixie and Steven. These DMs, to put it simply, are Pixie confronting Steven and saying that she was going to write a note, making it clear what happened and what her feelings
Hi, Steven. Okay,
while emphasizing Steven's contribution to her current state of mind. Destiny then goes on to reassure her that she has a lot of life ahead of her, and that these leaks would pass given time. Finally, Destiny makes an offer that if she requires any help with any bills or anything, then to let him know, so he can provide assistance, and it's one less thing for her to concern herself with. Straighter Aid goes on to share some DMs from Pixie, in which she laments the difficulty a legal case would present, at one point suggesting that in frustration she may get the same lawyer who works for Kiwi Farms. Conversation between Straighter Aid and Sunday once again returns to the general topic of the leaks, for several days until the 8th of January, where Straighter Aid would share a copy of Pixie's statement regarding these leaks, in which she states that the sharing of these images was non-consensual.
Gotcha. So this is the girl. I'm just watching through her content.
How many of you are on birth control if it's
And I just wanted to offer a little bit of advice. Here's my advice to you. Okay, this is what you need to do when you're making good clips. This is the best advice I could ever give anybody. Just turn the music up as loud as possible, and so that's my general advice to how you should create clips. If you're ever a content creator, you just want to make sure that you make sure you make your stuff like that. Okay, make sure you do your stuff exactly like that. That's the perfect way to go. All right, guys. Okay, let's continue this rabbit hole.
She states that the sharing of these images was non-consensual, and to her knowledge...
On November 29th, I learned that the streamer, Destiny, had non-consensually shared pornographic content of me online. My dignity, peace of mind, and hopes for the future were stripped away in a mere matter of seconds, following the betrayal of someone I previously trusted. Let me be clear. I am the third person he has done this to. I hope to be the last. I will not be commenting on the experience of other women he has hurt, as it is not my place... nor story to tell. I will, however, share my story in the hopes of preventing this from occurring again. I have known Destiny for around 4 Jesus, how the fuck did I get a 4 out of that? 5 or 6 years now, and often find myself in heavy disagreement with him. Despite this, I do my best to see the positive sides of all people, trying my hardest to spread positivity and create understanding where I can. Some people call this fault of mine. They claim I am naive and should be more careful. Those people are right. When I was 20, over 5 years ago, I was extremely sexually inexperienced and sheltered. I wanted to sexually experiment, was terrified that it somehow lead someone on or experience sexual assault. Destiny, who I had multiple long conversations with regarding consent and boundaries, seemed like someone I could put my trust in regarding this avenue.
okay, I gotcha.
she is the third person this has happened to.
Okay.
The timeline she provides is that this encounter occurred fairly early.
So you can imagine my surprise when I discover he has sent pornographic content of me to a teenager without a teenager. Oh, a 19-year-old girl. Okay, gotcha. So I guess technically a teenager, but when you hear teenager, you think like a fucking 14-year-old. Yes, you read that right. Stephen Kenneth Bonnell II sent pornographic content of me to a random 19-year-old e-girl Discord kitten he had never met before. Oh, but rest assured, he had many conversations with her on the phone at least. Damn, he was jorking it on the phone. This random girl, who I didn't even know existed until this mess, proceeded to share this content online. I do not understand why Destiny would hurt me in this way. I do not know what I did to deserve this. I do not know what action I took that could justify the violation of my consent and privacy to such a degree. I do not understand why Destiny would knowingly and willingly put me in a position where I would receive non-stop sexual abuse and harassment. His reckless actions in the pursuit of trying to impress a teenager he never met, using my body, my privacy, and me at my most vulnerable moments will forever haunt me. It's a little based. I mean, I don't think that he did this to upset her. I think that that's the problem with Destiny, right? Is that he's selfish. Listen. Okay.
Early on in her online career, she also cites how she would...
For the past month and a half, I have become extremely sussy. She's been considering ending her life, we'll say it like that. Contemplating the various ways to end my existence to escape the pain I currently feel. The betrayal, coupled with the hundreds of messages I've received, filled with sexual harassment and abuse, have left me feeling hopeless and devoid of almost all happiness. The only thing that has kept me alive is the hope that I can bring this man to justice and have him face legal consequences for his actions. For the past month, I have been speaking to lawyers about my situation and what to do. I have decided this is the best course of action. I'll be suing him for violating the U.S. Federal Code, 15 USC with a bunch of weird dollar sign, I don't know what the fuck that is, 6851 civil action relating to discourse of intimate images and publication for private facts in Florida. I'll be seeking emotional and punitive damages for his actions. Okay.
Pursue him in court, and that this would be a civil action, as this was clearly prepared for...
Jeez, I might as well just read this whole fucking thing. What the hell's the point of this guy talking? I've been told that a court case like this could potentially cost over tens of thousands of dollars. I'm terrified. I mean, this guy talks about potentially suing Hassan as if for fun, and Hassan actually has the resource to defend himself. I cannot imagine what he might try to do to me in this process. Sometimes I wonder if he is purposely trying to put fear into my heart when he casually talks about throwing money into a lawsuit with a multimillionaire who can fight back, as if it's an indirect flaunt/warning over his capability of outspending me in whatever legal case I throw at him. At the request of my friends, I have been encouraged to link my GoFundMe regarding this case here in hopes that we can raise enough money to legally succeed. Oh, this whole release of these videos might be like a tactic to try to generate money for this, which I can totally understand.
For publication, she also notes her GoFundMe and the fact that such a case would cost money and would need wider public support. She also, at least to some degree...
I've been told that the payout might not be worth the harassment and attention I will receive. It's in an ideal world, I would do this privately, but I have been told there is no realistic way the court will grant me anonymity. This means my only option is public. I have been told by a variety of people not to go public, most notably Destiny's anti-Twitch crusader Dan Saltman. I have been told by some people that Steven really does feel sorry, but I am not inclined to believe them, especially taking into consideration his actions regarding me. He probably doesn't care. Regardless of what Destiny did is unacceptable, and I believe he will do this again unless he faces justice. This is actually probably true.
Degree verifies Straighterade's earlier comments regarding Dan Saltzman, noting, I have been told by a variety of people to not go public, most notably Destiny's anti-Twitch crusader, Dan Saltzman. Finally, she leaves off noting that Destiny has violated federal law in his
Okay, I am going to read this. Let me be clear. Destiny has violated federal law in his transgressions against me. He has violated my consent and is directly responsible for the sexual abuse I've received. I am terrified. Evidence log. Destiny apologizing to me for his actions. Note, I had contacted him about the situation before he sent me this message. Destiny downplaying the pain I felt and my concerns. Destiny offering to pay some bills, I guess, to try to make me feel better. I'm sorry. Is a water bill being paid going to make me feel okay about lifelong trauma I received? I mean, it is the internet, so her being harassed is probably the most dramatic part of it.
Transgressions against me. He has violated my consent and is directly responsible for the sexual abuse I have received. When pressed on the release schedule of this statement, Straighterade shares a DM between herself and Pixie, where Pixie clarifies that she wants to talk to her lawyer first and send a demand letter.
It sounds like this was like intentionally released.
And based on
it's like all these videos and everything at once.
His response to said letter, release it. I originally wanted to do it by next week, but seems unlikely. On January the 10th, President Sunday would approach Straighterade asking if there was any updates on the situation.
Nope, I haven't heard from her since the 8th. She's been active and she's just ignoring me. We'll give it a couple days, like to her update me, and she kind of randomly had been throughout this whole thing. But I think she's annoyed with me. I think if she continues to evade, we need to assume she's been paid off. I told her, well, if she was, that's her. This is her scenario. So whatever happens to her, those are her thing. I told her gently to readjust her expectations with money and that she would receive in any sort of settlement. Said that demand filler. Okay, it wasn't a good idea. Gotcha. Okay.
She responded that she hadn't heard anything else, and she speculates that Pixie at this point may be annoyed with her and just simply ignoring the messages.
Sorry, you guys want me to read this? What day were you thinking about releasing it? I mean, the most I can think of is the Virginia stuff or NAS, but I think I'm just seeing how he would do that in a way that doesn't make him look any worse trying to deflect. Going to talk to my lawyer first and a demand letter based on his response to say to let her release it. Originally, I wanted to do this next week, but seems unlikely. Okay, that's what you want me to read? Is that what?
Speculates that Pixie at this point may be annoyed with her and just...
Oh, you want me to read your Substack? I'm going to. It's like, where you got a bunch of bullshit to do with this.
simply ignoring the messages. Though she is sure Sunday...
I think if she could see, okay, she would tell me if it was settled. She's evading you? You sure? Yeah, there's no way she wouldn't tell me. This is not an honest person. Her first impulse, dude, this President Sunday guy is such a fucking creep. This is not an honest person. Her first impulse was to try to blackmail Steven with her taking her life, while continued to be gentle. In fact, if discussing her from the demand letter seems to put up barriers, I'd choose a different tactic. Go along with it and try to adjust what she says. I'd ask her, hey, do you want to go over your demand letter and then keep recording a record of everything? What the fuck? Why is this President Sunday guy such a disgusting fucking freak? Honestly, what is wrong with you? This is not an honest person. Her first impulse was to try to blackmail Steven. This guy's a fucking disgusting slop of fuck. This is nasty. This guy's disgusting. Like, nothing in here that I've seen makes her seem like a dishonest person at all. She seems like a young, emotionally vulnerable person that's struggling to like, figure her shit out, how she's going to navigate dealing with an incredibly immature fucking gooner piece of shit. And Destiny's a smart guy, but that's what he's acting like in this scenario. So, what... what the fuck? Jesus Christ. Oh my God. What is wrong with this guy? Holy fuck. Yeah, I'm gonna check Destiny's. I got to get through this stuff before I look at that.
That had Pixie taken the payoff, she would have been informed. It would then be on the 16th.
I don't have a timestamp because he's still live, but Lonerbox said on his stream this morning that he's taking a break from streaming for a while, alluded to what happened. What did he say? That he wants to reevaluate the direction he wants to take his content in. A lot of personal drama that he can't discuss has been going on in the background. LOL. Okay, crazy.
Of January, where Straight Raid would once again reach out to Sunday, asking him whether he was aware of Lonerbox's stream, in which Lonerbox stated his intention to take a break from streaming, but more importantly, alluded to what happened.
It's a little bit frustrating that the psycho smear campaign against me has kind of succeeded, and it's basically all because of Hassan being willing to platform it.
Oh, you guys can't see him. Sorry. He looks like a Muppets character a little bit.
Which is very annoying that you basically have to like suffer the consequences of someone else's stupidity, but
is he playing hardcore? I could never.
But it is. Someone else's failures as a human being. But that's not why I'm taking a break. That's just annoying. And it's something that I'll probably be able to work around by myself.
I know Destiny Simmons.
Within this live, Lonerbox notes his frustrations with Hassan, but points out that the Israel-Palestine discourse and how he's being treated in regard to that content isn't his reason for leaving. The further allusions come when people bring up Destiny to him in his chat.
You've got Tiny to back you up, both. You make quite the team when you're together? No. What do you mean stop streaming?
Who specifically is Tiny? Just wondering.
I'm not going to stop like forever. I just need some... It doesn't matter. I just need a bit of a break.
I feel that, brother.
What was the catalyst for that decision? Can't really go into detail. It's been a few things. Have you just not been enjoying streaming? I mean, I like streaming. I just there's just a lot of things surrounding the whole thing that making it.
Tiny is Destiny? Oh, Tiny is the end of Destiny. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
It's just making me need to step back for a minute and reassess what I want to do going forward. Is it the IP?
With everything going on here, you know, I'll be fucking so real with you guys. This is just like, I'm gonna be so absolutely real with you guys right now. This is not even gonna be like anything crazy, but it's crazy to me almost. Probably the biggest reason why I never tried to be like super close to Destiny is because my wife told me to just not do that. She had a bad feeling about this guy. And it seems like in every fucking scenario, Destiny seems to have a falling out with some friend. Doesn't matter who. You know, I'm not saying I would have become like the closest, most based orbit or anything. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that like she's like, you need to keep a safe distance, and that was a pretty big driving force as to why I never really became that close. Because let me tell you, it seems like everybody that associates with Destiny gets a huge bump, and then their world crumbles around them in the most destructive, chaotic, horrific way ever. I mean, this is just another reason. This is just another reason why I chose the right person. She's literally always correct. She's called everything. She's called everything. Literally everything she's called. It's insane. Holy fuck.
E-discourse. Nope.
Lonabox's obvious discomfort around the topic of Destiny led to what I can only describe as a cascading series of events.
Well, can we just point out though that like this Loaderbox guy seems like a pretty normal, chill dude? Only because he's like, yeah, I don't want to talk about that. Like he didn't do the best that he could to turn this into content, like a deranged, degenerate fuck. So he seems like a pretty chill, normal dude, to be honest with you.
Where people began to realize that this once contained story was not going to be contained for much longer.
Why?
And it has not taken long for even people such as Hassan to start reacting to this news.
Okay, so what's interesting is Bad Evan correct himself, it's not cheating, but that she had denied previously sleeping with him and then was in the leaks. Oh, okay. Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense.
I'm so bored of Hassan.
So, Bonerbox starts dating a Destiny Orbiter. The Destiny Orbiter tells Bonerbox, I never had sex with Destiny. And then Destiny, in the endless interest of like trying to fuck, you know, e-girls that are in his DMs, sends his entire library of content that he filmed with his ex-wife, which I'm sure his ex-wife is not fully on board with. I would suspect that if you were Destiny's ex-wife, you probably aren't very happy about like videos of you guys having sex being distributed to random people, including, you know, many other people. And that person that he sent it to, their friend, I think, leaked all of those videos and made it viral. And one of them was even Destiny like sucking a penis. And that's where the whole like the Destiny suck off Nick Fuentes drama comes from. But ultimately, what ended up happening is, I guess that's when Bonerbox found out that his girlfriend had actually lied to him. Maybe, I don't know.
Given the nature of the development.
LOL. Let me know when you're available to talk. Serious development. Good question. Or good development. Oh, I'm not free until tomorrow night to chat. TLDR or should I wait? Urgent, actually. Tell me. I can't pass anything to Pixie, though. She's not replying, and I just don't feel comfortable bringing anything about this up to her.
Situation, okay. President Sunday suggests having a call with Stray Charade to explain to her that at the very least, Pixie's involvement is now public discourse. And most pressingly, that the conversation between Pixie and Erudite...
I just talked to some red person. That's not racist. He has the Pixie Erudite messages and he leaked them to me. Oh my god. He had them and shared them to me. Did you share with anybody else? Fuck, with Blink? What are the exact same? Was it the exact same video? I know Blank wouldn't have shared it. Don't know. He said in my convo that he didn't have a scrolling video, but I never mentioned it was scrolling. And he got all of it, so he definitely has it. What did you send to whom specifically? I sent the video. I never took screenshots. So she sent it to this. Wait, so she had the messages and then she sent it to some other guy, and then that other guy. This is fucking blowing the shit out of my ass. Okay.
Had leaked to a wide range of people. Sunday, for his part, had been approached for a conversation by another content creator regarding these leaks, as people were beginning to try and work out how much information everyone else was holding. They begin going back and forth.
Can I ask you one question? Yes, of course. Have you talked to Steven directly throughout any of this? Yes. What was said between you two? He told me about Pixie's, considering taking her life, and I said he should offer her compensation. They talked from there, but Pixie told me the combo broke down. Wait, what? Holy Jesus. Okay, so Pixie's best friend is the one that told Destiny to offer her money? And that's why he offered her money. Okay. Wait, why is Destiny a dumb fucking baby that can't figure out how to deal with the situation by himself? I don't understand. What the fuck is happening here? Okay. Holy moly. This is so insane. Okay. I mean, some of these things make Destiny seem less of a bad. I'll be honest with you, but holy Jesus Christ.
Discussing who the leaker of the leaks may be. Though honestly, looking through it, it's sort of an elementary question at this point. But we do get one more interesting detail. And
oh, Straighterade was playing both sides? Wow, wow, that's gotta be terrible for this pixie girl. That's gotta be terrible for this pixie girl because she has no genuine friends in this scenario. That's terrible. Wow, Destiny, perfect time for you to move in and try to have sex with her. She's had her most emotionally vulnerable. Sorry, I'm just being a silly guy. All right, relax. Okay, cool beans.
And that's the fact that Straighterade had been discussing all of this with Destiny throughout this period. In fact, it was Straighterade who suggested to Steven compensation. Sunday asks, but given that your impulse is to try and find a mole, I'm going to assume that what they said is accurate.
Why is this happening like this? This is like gross. It's so gross that everybody in this scenario, this girl's friends or enemies, everybody is trying to like fan the flames and make this a story. It never should have been a story. These leaks happened and it was gross and never should have happened, and that's bad. And Destiny's wrong for sharing images and he needs to be held like some level of accountable. I totally get that. But why the fuck is this being fanned so heavily in such an insane direction? Like, this is so gross. Like, everybody is a disgusting fucking freak in this situation. Like, every single one of the people except for the girl, that Pixie, is an absolutely degenerate, disgusting fucking freak. Like, that's literally, that's it. That's what's happening here. Like, everybody except for Pixie is a disgusting fucking freak. That's to sum up. To sum it up, that's the sum up. Everybody. Oh my god. But yes, this was one of the few suggestions. Okay, sorry. They want to find a mole. I'm going to assume this is accurate. Said Steven should pay for Pixie's law school. Okay. But yes, this is one of the few suggestions. I said that she's in a precarious financial situation. That's not. She's not consulted her therapist, and that therapy bills or payment to assist with law school would be money that would be productive to her because it's something to look forward to. She refuses to tell her family, and things are breaking down with Loner. And I felt overwhelmed being one of I don't know how many people she let into a limited social network. Taking her own life threats worried me because she kept saying it was contingent to her parents finding out, not the general public. But it was never pressing enough that I felt a wellness check was in order. Loner reached out to me when she hadn't heard back from her. I contacted her roommates and asked to please contact me. And then I think that that day she responded to me, and I made the suggestion to Steven to offer compensation because it's what she wanted most. Do you understand that this is being seen as you assisting blackmailing someone? Oh my God, President Sunday, just light yourself a candle, dude. This guy's so gross. This guy, I hate this guy so genuinely. Oh my God. What is wrong with this guy? This isn't this genuinely is not blackmailing at Destiny. Also, you hate Destiny, so you would be okay with him getting blackmailed. This isn't about like, oh, morally, this isn't correct. Oh. This is about he wants to escalate this to a point that could potentially damage Destiny's career. Now, whether Destiny deserves that or not, he probably does. But the intentionality from this President Sunday guy is to be a disgusting little fuck. He's gross. Like, in all honesty, if this whole situation happened and this girl went to Destiny and said, like, this is really fucked up what you did to me, I want you to give me like $100,000, and that's how she wanted to deal with it, I don't care. Okay, cool. That's fine with me. If that's how she wanted to handle her situation, because this is ultimately her situation, I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to try to sit here and try to manipulate her friends into manipulating her into going into a direction that's the most volatile for her. We have a situation here where this girl got wronged by Destiny pretty significantly, and there's everybody around her is desperately trying to turn her into content. Like, this whole entire thing is so disgusting. She has no meaningful or positive support structure. No wonder she's in such a bad spot. Holy fuck.
You suggested Steven pay for Pixie's law school. Straighterade responds, this was one of my few suggestions.
Alright, shut the fuck up. Move on to the next one.
And that something to look being 1 PM of recording bad
Destiny Revenge Porn Groomer. Gotcha. I think we looked at this a while ago, or no?
Panada has come out with a video titled, Destiny is a sex criminal, shared porn of multiple people without consent. The spiraling situation is what led to Sunday coming to me. He was aware already that I'd been looking for these DMs, and was aware at the very least of their existence.
Pixie agreed to share the DMs, which is weird. Yeah, because she's being manipulated by everybody around her. Like, that's what was probably what happened here.
Because he wanted to provide a fuller context for them.
When I sit here and read every single message from President Sunday is demanding, basically, that they take this and escalate it as much as possible. This girl, listen, this girl is very clearly, she does not have the support structure needed in her life. That's what I'm going to say. She doesn't have a support structure that's like, well, maybe she did with fucking Lonerbox, but then she couldn't even go to him because he seems like a normal dude, because she feels like she might have betrayed him because she said she never fucked Destiny. I mean, I don't know why that matters, but although I guess I would be embarrassed too. She just has no actual meaningful support structure.
Rather than just me releasing them in a tweet, he offered this wider conversation with Straighter Aid, hoping it could help fill in any blanks, along with any outstanding leaks or information which I may not have. I have attempted to present this information with as little bias as possible. I really just want to provide you with a wider context for what has been happening within the DGG machine.
This was a solid video. There didn't seem to be any narrative being pushed by the creator, so...
I personally never sought out the Destiny leaks. I have now read more of Destiny's Kiwi Farm page than I ever wanted to. And while, if I'm being frank, I'm not surprised or stunned or shocked by the leaks. I'm not a Destiny fan and never have been. But I've never hated the guy either. Unfortunately for me, this story is one that is basically impossible to ignore. It has been fascinating watching people dance around this topic. And at least for me, this is the part of the story that I wanted to know about. I'm not an accountability channel.
Destiny thinks we're all dumb. That's what the post said. Okay, fair enough.
I frankly don't
care. Okay, this video was solid. Okay, so we don't need to... We already basically read this in the last video. I didn't realize that. So we don't need to read her Substack. We already read it. So I guess we'll move on right to Destiny's Reddit response. Incredible stuff. Okay, I gotta zoom in. I'm a little old. Sorry, guys. I wish I could get this part off the screen. I could just... But whatever. Legal arc beginning in mysterious ways. Such wow. Just a... What a... what a great way to start this really serious situation. Much wow. Sometime in November, extremely sensitive and personal materials of mine were leaked. This affected not only me, but many people in my life. I want to be clear, the leak happened without my knowledge, consent, or authorization. I never had an intention for any of these images to be published. I haven't spoken out publicly regarding the situation for a few reasons. Sorry, I've really got to zoom in. I'm old as hell. I'm actively pursuing criminal and civil litigation on these matters against multiple parties. That's fair. Speaking publicly about these materials brings more attention to them, which harms all the victims involved. That's true. I have been trying to move on from covering drama content as it has had an increasingly negative impact on those in my life. That's fair and true. And also he seems to be pushing towards politics, although sometimes there's political drama. But okay. One person involved has expressed bad thoughts in relation to the matter, and I did not want to exacerbate the situation by talking about it publicly. All these things might be true. I mean, I guess you could be using these as an excuse to not, deal with them, but those are all true. So, because there are now multiple parties involved in litigation, it is unlikely I will be able to answer any questions until pending litigation has been resolved. That said, though I am limited in what I can say, it is important that people know about my recent communication with and regarding Pixie, someone who I was friends with and collaborated with on many occasions. Since the leaks were first circulated, Pixie had stressed to me that keeping things out of the public eye was important to her. Okay, so these are just proof of those. All right, Destiny, absolutely not friends, LMAO. I didn't know this. Okay. Last question. Do you know... One question. You and Keemstar are friends, right? Did you know that was pinned to Drama Alert? We're not friends, LMAO. I don't think he likes me at all. Rip, I was hoping there would be a way to get the post removed through their own violation, but I guess since I think okay, gotcha. So this is about Destiny's leaks, and then she was trying to get them to stop doing that. But there's really no way you could do that. Let me know when you figure out the stuff with the lawyer. Also, if you have any discrete questions or specific things you need to know from me, let me know. You got severely fucked over in this through absolutely no fault of your own. Okay, and yeah, working today to file stuff. Now reached out to law firms, and we're waiting for responses back for filing police reports to grab court orders and stuff. If you want, I could put you in direct contact with whoever the fuck this Asian person is, or you can message her directly as well to check in on this to verify this stuff. Just got off the phone with her an hour ago. I don't want to have to testify or be named or anything. As far as people ask me, I'm saying it's a look-alike, and I have remarkable differences in my breast to prove it. Okay. Yeah, okay. I haven't confirmed, denied anything at all publicly and will never do so, and I'll double check with you before anything ever gets mentioned in a police report or court order or anything. I don't foresee this being a thing, but just in that case. Please don't tell anyone privately either if they ask if it's actually me or not. 100%, no one has messaged me to confirm or deny anything like that except for when Aaron's straight array messaged me. Lastly, Pixie, please don't tell anyone privately either if they ask if it's actually not me or not. Destiny, 100%. No one messages me to confirm or deny anything like that except when Aaron. Okay, gotcha. Pixie, sounds good. Aaron and this straight array person. Sounds good. Try to chemically after. Okay, sorry. I'm like trying to read it to myself. I got to read it out loud. Pixie, sounds good. Do you think you'll try to go criminally after the person or not? I assume you can subpoena Kiwi Farms for this account information and maybe even IP ban his address. Or IP address, or even, maybe even IP address, and go from there if you desire. Or do you feel like this would be too much attention drawn to it? I have absolutely no idea. Waiting for this law firm to confirm a call with me, I think. Also, like I said, I won't do anything in terms of filing civil stuff or making criminal complaints without checking with you first. Oh, this does not make her look good, I'll tell you that. Okay. I've always said I would do my best to not confirm or publicize anything and kept my word. On December 11th, I received a message from a mutual acquaintance named Laura Hayden, known as Laurel de Lasagna. I don't know who this person is. What you did was evil. I have never hated anyone so much. The pieces are starting to fall into place as I'm reading through this. Who has legal background. Lauren has had a negative sentiment towards me after I rejected her romantic advances earlier in the year. Okay, I'm not getting into this personal bullshit. I understand that she has organized a fundraiser to support Pixie's lawsuit against me and assume that she has been counseling Pixie on how to proceed. That same day, I received a message from Pixie where she suggested she would create... Oh, let me read the message. Okay. Hi, Steven. Hi, Steven. Time to zoom in. Hi, Steven. Hi, Steven. As my life on Earth comes to a close, I want to ask you to be please more careful with the people who place their trust in you in the future. Life is unfair, but you should do your best in preventing that, not contributing to it. Hold up there. What's up? Oh, these are the messages that we didn't get to see. Oh. Okay. I'm just tired of living anymore. It's a matter of time until my family discovers what happened, and I feel like there's no way to obtain justice. I don't want to bring case against you, but I think you'll continue to send nudes of people even without their consent. Bringing a case against you would mean going public, which is the equivalent of a death sentence for me, either way. So I feel like the best thing for me to do is to take my own life and schedule a post just detailing my feelings on what happened to try to ensure a situation like this doesn't happen again. I'm not going to take my own life at this second. I'm trying to get some things in order before I end it eventually, but I don't see a future where I survive for much longer. It's better to end things sooner than later and stop the pain and let it continue. Jesus Christ. I feel like that's like a lot for anybody to have to do. That's really sad for her, and that's kind of what you get for, fucking around with emotionally unstable women. You obviously know better. But I don't know if Destiny can necessarily do anything about that. It's a little intense. Destiny says, I feel like it's hard for me to give you advice since I'm obviously implicated in everything, but I would still like to say some following things. Okay. Now this makes more sense. Now that we have the uncensored messages, this stuff makes a lot more sense. All right. This stuff makes a lot more sense. This is a lot more different. This is a lot different. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't know if she's necessarily trying to blackmail him. She might actually feel this way. I don't know. I gotta finish this out to give my actual take on what I think is going on here. We already read this message before, so we don't need to read it again. We read the message that he sent. Okay. I received a message from Pixie where she suggested she would create a post about me that would go live after she took her own life. This concerned me greatly. I genuinely believed that she was still in mental anguish following the leak weeks earlier. Okay, that makes sense. I responded in earnest, doing what I could to reassure her and letting her know that she had every right to pursue legal course of action. At no stage did I try to convince her otherwise. This was highly emotional, volatile time, and my main concern was her well-being. It's fair. A few hours later, I messaged a mutual friend, Straighterade, who I knew to be particularly close with Pixie. We tried to figure out the best way forward in terms of making things right, or as right as they could be. It makes sense for him to reach out to her best friend. In that conversation, okay, we'll read Jesus, guys, so much reading. Guys, I'm a dumb baby. I can't read. Hi, Steven. That's okay, this is the stuff that she sent. Okay, gotcha. Okay, we just read that. So what we're doing is we're seeing what she says. I'm surprised she told you, to be honest. She didn't respond to this, or did she delete it? No, if she responded and deleted it, I didn't see it, but I'm pretty sure she didn't respond. This might be true, just to be clear. I don't want to say that it's necessarily blackmail. I'm not going to jump on that. Jesus Christ, relax. Okay, she's done, but it might have been. I'm just saying, I don't know yet. Because we saw this pretext, it seemed like she's being manipulated by a bunch of people. I'm not entirely sure she's blackmailing. I don't know. I kind of feel like we have to finish this video before I get my take on it, but I kind of just feel like she's like this weird victim of like circumstances here, and most of the circumstances are shit fucking friends and content creators that are trying to make this into content. Thank God we waited for like when somebody said like, oh, there's gonna be Destiny's talking, I was like, okay, good. Then I could like talk about this probably in the best way. Okay, sorry. She's not doing well. She made all the wrong moves and responses. I told her to do nothing and not reply to people. I don't think she's done anything too bad or anything. Just like privating her stuff for a bit was fine. People have sent me stuff that she said in the DMs. She's denying it in private and DMing people to stop talking about her because it's not her. Well, she probably should stop doing that. It's not going to help her. Destiny. Oh, well, I mean, if she's helping her, if it's helping her process stuff or whatever, it's okay. Unless she's just blowing it up more or making it something. Making it worse or something, which might be what she's doing with that. She went into, this is a friend. She went into Spicy Chat and said their comments make her want to take her own life a few days ago. Oh, okay. I don't know. Is that true, or does she just go to that a lot? I don't know, dude. I'm starting to question it. Although then again, she's in a situation where people are constantly like harassing her over this, so this might be somewhat genuine. She might just be like freaking out and not knowing what to do. She's not really talking to people. Loner messaged me asking if I'd heard from him because she hasn't been messaging. This is bad. Yeah. Then I messaged her tonight, that's when she said she thinks that what she needs to do. Well, fuck. I feel stupid going over there asking her to just hang out for obvious reasons. Well, that would be weird, but I don't really know what else I can do, or if I'm even a person who can support her. Straightaway says, I don't know how she views you. When she told me, I wondered if I should tell you and ask for your help. But if she sees you as an abuser, then it seems like the ultimate betrayal to do that. Same with the telling her family. If she's explicitly said she can't rely on them for support. Like, I'd rather have her pissed off at me for her life, but alive, but I also don't know how to intervene. She doesn't seem manic, but I have no training to really make that judgment. But a wellness check seems like it'll do fuck all because she's just act normal to get away with it then, to get them to go away, and they wouldn't commit her just on my word alone. I told her similar things that you told her, and that she really needs to speak to her therapist about this. She said she hadn't done that. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. In that conversation, we spoke about things I could do to alleviate the toll on Pixie's mental health. I took Straightaway's suggestions and presented them to Pixie. I explicitly offered to help her financially, having had it communicated to me that she was also under financial pressure when dealing with this matter. Pixie responded, stating that whatever price she would ask for would be too high and would only result in making her feel worse. This is an older screenshot. Jesus Lord. All right, we read that, or I think we already read this. I feel like there's no justice. Okay. I think we didn't read this. It's more complicated than that. This feels super lame, and I don't want to imply that just giving you money helps anything go away, free or anything, but owe you bills. Okay, got it. We read that. It's more complicated than that. I feel like there's no justice of what's been done. I feel like people for the rest of my life are going to try to send it to my family or workplace. Does she have, like, I don't understand this family workplace thing. I feel like this is a little bit of, like, a weird overreaction. Am I wrong about that? There's like so many fucking moving parts. I think that my best advice is, Destiny, stop fucking around with with fucking unstable people. What is wrong with you? You're old enough to know what the fuck you're doing. Jesus Christ. Okay. Anyway, gotcha. First, I'm trying to defend it to my family workplace. I feel extremely violated with how so many people saw me non-consensually in a vulnerable position. I feel like people are always going to use this as proof that I slept my way into whatever achievement I garner. Well, I mean, she wasn't particularly successful as a content creator. We just saw her page was like less than 2,000 followers, so I don't really know why people would think that. I feel like it's evidence that everything would be better with me gone. I feel like whatever I ask you to cover will be too high of a price too, and then I'm going to feel even worse over it. I don't know, maybe she's priming him to ask him for a lot of money. Jesus Christ. I think the number of people who know or even keep up with it or going to go after you is probably almost zero. That's probably true. I think people hate others involved, me, Lauren, Nick, LOL, way, way, way more, and it overshadows everything a lot more. That's definitely true. These people are using her situation to try to go after Destiny. As for any achievements or anything like that, the majority of the work and stuff you've done has been completely independent from me anyway. So the only people who would say anything like that are people who would have said shit like that anyway aren't worth your time. It's probably all true, actually. It appears she had since deleted that only message. Oh, so she deleted some of those. That's why we didn't see them, as it's no longer in our current conversation history. What did you do? So weird. Wait, did Destiny screenshot that back in the day then? Oh my god. Okay. All right. This feels super lame, and I don't want you to imply some. Okay, gotcha. Oh, he's just showing that she deleted some of the messages. Gotcha. That okay. Let's see. This is later in the conversation. There's so much to go through. Okay. I want to send Pixie this thread and tell her that there are tons of people talking homophobically and a few that mention Lauren, but none mentioning her. But I don't know if this comes off as me minimizing her complaints or not. Well, it sounds more like he's just trying to suggest to her that like she's doesn't have to worry as much as she is. Okay. Straight if you could minimize it, that would be actually good. Then she wouldn't think about it as much. But I don't think that you could debate somebody out of this. How are you feeling this morning? I feel better. I feel somber, but not suicidal right now. I said the word. I'm supposed to be censoring that. Oh no. That's good. Well, not good. I'm sorry you're still somber, but it's an improvement. Did you reply to Steven? Yeah, we just got into an argument back and forth on why I shouldn't take my own life. I haven't replied to his last message or asked him to cover my tuition. I don't think he would do that if I asked. LOL. Okay, I need to think on that. Oh. This is so stupid. Okay. Sorry. There's so much information. Listen, I like to explore all avenues. Does at this point, does Pixie know that Straighterade is talking to Destiny? Because I think that she might. And the only reason that I say that, okay, the only reason that I ask that question is because part of me thinks there's a possibility, and I'm just exploring possibilities here, guys, that she wants to ask for a lot of money, but feels like if she does, she's going to seem like a kind of a bitch. So she's like, teases the idea, and it's like, I don't want to ask for money because it doesn't show true accountability. Plus, I'd ask for a lot for my school and stuff. And then she kind of leaves it there, and then she talks to her friend, and then knows that her friend's going to talk to Destiny. And then she drops like the, hey, it's a lot of money type of a thing. So that it gets to Destiny without her making her feel like she's asking for too much or exploiting him or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. To be honest with you, I think that it's a good thing to keep in mind that like all these people don't seem to be particularly good people. I don't know. It's like everybody seems to be not great. Okay, cool beans. This is crazy stuff. Okay. LOL. I think on that, like the entire tuition for law school is like $200K. I told her to make the request, and you can negotiate it from there. I don't know what law school she wants to go to. If it's like Harvard, then yeah, the whole thing will be being covered is probably not happening. If it's state school in Florida, that's another story. First, she needs to actually apply and get in. That will give you time to think about the amount of okay, we'll keep it in mind. Okay. Later in the conversation with Straighterade, she told me that Pixie seemed to want me to cover her entire tuition school. Others told me that Pixie thought it would be appropriate for me to pay her anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million. At no point did Pixie make a specific or explicit request for financial compensation. I think sometime in December 13, Pixie unfriended me on Discord. It became clear that no amount that I agreed to would be satisfactory by nature of the fact that I agreed to it. Third-party communicated that the point of the financial compensation would be to punish me. Okay, kind of, okay. Which, considering he seems to consistently show people images without their consent. Oh, okay. That language was incredibly frustrating to hear secondhand. I had already shown a willingness to make things right at best I could. I had spent time talking to mutual friends of ours with the intent to help address concerns with her mental health and, thoughts of taking her own life, the sincerity of which I genuinely believed. I was objectively harmed by the situation and was actively seeking to find a resolution that worked well for everybody. I'm not sure. I mean, that's fair. I don't think anybody's considered how this situation probably stresses him out too, even though he is not acting perfectly in the right. I'll get to that after we finish this bullshit. I'm not sure where Pixie got this idea that she needed to financially punish me. In the text message, Pixie reiterates that she doesn't want criminal penalties for me, just big financial ones. Yeah, I mean, I get it from her perspective. We already read this. I get it from her perspective. I gotta make some kind of sense, because you need to learn your fucking lesson, Destiny, because you keep acting like an immature prick. Okay. Some of my most personal messages have been gone out to the world because of what happened, including multiple incredibly explicit videos of mine, many of which have been forwarded to my family members and colleagues. Information has come out which has irrevocably damaged my personal relationships. This saga has been a nightmare for all parties involved. Her accusation that I likely used a proxy to widely distribute this material while claiming deniability. Did she say that? Wait, I thought we read all this. Wow. Okay. I didn't know that she had mentioned that. Maybe we just didn't see that in there. They didn't show that part. Wow, she's made she's made $3,000. I guess good for her. I didn't know that she said that. Likely. Oh, of course, this is what happened. Yes, you heard that right. Stephen Bennell sent pornographic content of me and a random 19-year-old girl. Okay, but rest assured, despite never having me, plenty of times on the phone. Of course, this is what he says happened. I think it's just as likely that he used her as a proxy to widely distribute this material while claiming deniability. Oh, fuck, I guess I did not internalize that. That's really crazy. Okay. That's probably not true. All right. It's extremely hurtful. I flat out cannot believe that anyone would think I intentionally leaked this material to the public. I increasingly felt uncomfortable by the language being used regarding financial punishment and wanted to teach me a lesson along with constant references to the precariousness of someone's mental health. These are text messages. Okay. What to do with myself and based on how this conversation goes. Okay, I think we read this one as well, so we don't need to read everything. It no longer felt productive to engage in these conversations. As is well documented at the start of this, I was completely willing to make things right with Pixie. At this point, I just tell people close to me that if Pixie wants to pursue legal action against me, she's always free to do so, but I don't feel comfortable talking to her or about her until, at the very least, my current legal actions have run their course. I mean, that's totally fair. It has been brought to my attention that Pixie has now tried to re-add me as friends, but I have ignored these requests. That's the smart play from this point. I have never told anyone what they can or cannot speak about, and I've always left the option open to them. Despite what some people have said, I've never threatened Pixie with litigation or an NDA to anyone. My goal was to respect the wishes of people who have been affected by the leak. Pixie has now stated her intention to sue me and is fundraising for that. I do not believe I have violated any laws, and since Pixie has made it clear that she wants to do, since that's clear that's what she wants to do, I will have to let the evidence and legal findings speak for themselves. It is unfortunate that it's come to this, but it means that all communication with her or Lauren, who may or may not be representing her, will now have to be through counsel. Okay. Wow. Crazy. This entire situation. I don't think I'm going to watch any of this because I don't think it's necessary. We're doing this for 2 hours. This is absolutely insane. Here's what I got out of watching all of this information, out of watching every single bit of this insanely convoluted mess. All right, here's the way I feel. Ultimately, it seems like this Pixie person is like the actual victim of this scenario. She engaged with Destiny. He recorded her with her consent, but then he would show it to other people. That seems to be the case. It's obviously disgusting and a violation of boundaries, especially from somebody who claims to advocate for different marginalized groups. You obviously know better. This is obviously in a pattern of immaturity from Destiny. He's a very smart guy, but constant patterns of immaturity over and over again that we're not even going to get into. So I think that that's disgusting behavior. And ultimately, him getting hacked is not his fault, but the fact that he would violate people's boundaries by sending it to people in private, probably because he just thought, no, they'll never know, it is pathetic. That being said, when it comes to this Pixie person, it seems like every single person around them, whether it's like her best friend or these other weird content creators, like this Present Sunday guy, are disgusting. And they're constantly trying to fan the flames and turn this into a story to boost this as much as possible. I'm not saying that she's acting perfectly, but it seems like she has absolutely zero support structure in this situation. Her literal best friend seems to be going behind her back to try to turn this into as much drama as they possibly can. And this person has absolutely zero support structure, in any capacity. She has shit friends. These other content creators, not Diorio, are shit here that are just desperate. They're so like anti-Destiny brain that they have no problem mentally distressing out some young girl who's just trying to live her life. And frankly, it's just fucking appalling. It's just the whole thing is appalling. Honestly, I think it's fucking pathetic. So yeah, I think we're gonna end off with that. Here, you know.